All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you Sensarakim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Osh from the Great Millstone Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shad. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying unto the elect. It's just going to be a quick lesson, a few words on a conversation that I had with a supposed 33rd degree Freemason. Okay, and this is a conversation that I had maybe about a month ago. Okay, and I've been meditating on doing a video on it, but the spirit is on me now to do a video on it. And the reason I'm doing this lesson is because it confirmed a couple things that we already know, but it's just, further shows that the scriptures are real, and this thing of ours is the truth. We have the truth. Okay, so basically how it happened was I was actually at work, minding my own business, where I'm supposed to be. Okay, and this guy just came up to me and he asked me a question. He just, random. But at the time, I do believe I was meditating about Freemasonry and the elites and the things that they do. Which, let me say this first. If brothers familiar with my videos, familiar with me, certain things I talk about more often than other topics. But I like talking about these Freemasons and the occult world, the left hand world, the world of the elites, right? Because the existence of the left hand shows you or proves the existence of the right hand. If there is a true, organized, and powerful left hand operating in this world, right? True, pure evil, if that really exists, then true good must exist. The right hand must exist as well. Okay? And that's something that I understood from an early age. Okay? Just personally, I've been studying about Freemasonry and the occult world since I was a child. All right, from the simple fact that I have had Freemasons in my family. Okay, open Freemasons that had that would rock the symbolism, that had the symbolism tattooed on them. Okay, never talked about it openly, but it was always curious to me. I was always curious, like, what does these symbols mean? What is this thing? Okay, and of course they never told me about it, so that led me to doing my own research. And I remember looking up videos about Freemasonry, about the Illuminati, when I was like 9 years old. Okay, before YouTube came out, I used to look up these type of videos on Daily Motion and on Vimeo. Okay, so when I came across the truth, it clicked quick. But later on in my life. So I say that to say that I know about these things. So again, the dude, he came up to me and he said, what does it mean to be sovereign? It's just the random dude. It's a dude who appears to be an Edomite, but he had to be a Jake. Just by the way he was moving and talking, he had to be a Jake. But he looked like an Edomite. He just came up to me and said, "What does it mean to be sovereign?" I was like, you rule yourself, basically. You know, I entertained him. I said, let me entertain this guy. And I forget exactly what he said after that. But he straight up said, I'm Masonic, so I see things in a different way. And he just started saying, talking about the light and the dark, which again is symbolism in the world of Freemasonry, going back to the checkerboard, the black and the white, which they play off that black and white, which the scriptures tell you, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Okay, so when he said that, I'm like, oh, okay, okay, this is what I'm dealing with, right? And so yeah, and it's funny too, because this is not something that shocked me, because not very recently, but more recently, but over the past few years, I've been having people just come up to me randomly and just start telling me stuff about their lives. People just coming up to me telling me their life story and shit, or personal things, and I don't even know them. But the Lord is grooming us to be leaders, so I'm pretty sure you brothers out there are having similar experiences. The Lord is grooming us on how to deal with different spirits, deal with different people, right? So yeah, he told me he was a Freemason, and then he asked me, he said, "Are you a traveling man?" Which a traveling man, that's a code word for a Freemason. I already knew that. And I said, no, I'm not. And he said, oh, okay. Right? But, yeah, he started telling me, I forget it, it's been about a month, so certain things I may have forgotten, but I'm just going to mention the points that matter in reference to this topic. So I'm going to skip over some things. But he told me, cause I started asking him questions. I said, okay, let me ask you questions. Let me probe. Let me see what you're gonna tell me. Since the spirit on me was like, okay, since you're willing to tell me that, let me see what else you're willing to tell me. Okay. Him not knowing that I'm already familiar with this stuff. Him not knowing that I'm already in the truth. And I know the truth, so I'm saying I know what the truth is. I'm not asking you questions to be converted. I have no desire of joining the lodge, but let me see what you're gonna tell me, okay? And that's moving with wisdom. Okay, Yahushua said what? Be wise as serpents, yet harmless as doves. So I played coy with him for a second, right? And allow him to reveal certain things to me. So again, I asked him, it was well, first he started telling me about money. He told me that when you're a Freemason, well, first he told me he was past, I asked him, I think I asked him what degree he was or something like that. He told me he was a 33rd degree, and he said really he's past the 33rd degree, which there are degrees past 33. They'll tell you to stop at 33. But he was very open, pretty much. I guess he thought that he could convert me, maybe he thought that I was interested in joining, so he started being open with me. He said he was 33rd degree. He said he went past 33rd degree, but he said he climbed the ranks too fast, so they kind of humbled him, and he looked like he was kind of messed up, like he was broke, kind of like a bum. But he told me that happens. You can have money You could become a millionaire, and the leaders will ask you to give up the money, and then you go broke, you lose it. He told me that they go through humiliation rituals, right? He even tried to give compare it to Yahweh Shai's walk, who he called JC, right? Going on the cross and whatnot. He said that was like a humiliation ritual. He said they go through humiliation rituals. Well, I actually said like a humiliation ritual. He said, yeah, like that. So he told me, yeah, he rose up in the ranks too fast, and they had to bring him down, they had to humble him, but he trusts that he's going to be reset again. He said that as a Mason, you don't really need money because they give you credits. So that's what he said. He said they give you credits, and you can buy things with credits. Basically a type of money that regular people don't know about. And he said even if he's broke, he'll meet people. He'll always meet people. He'll always be taken care of, basically. So then he told me I started asking him certain things what they believe in. I know for a fact, I asked him, what does he think about the end of the world? Do you believe that we're in end times? And he said, yes, absolutely. He said, absolutely, we're in end times. Then I asked him, what do you think about World War III? And he said, if it's written, it's going to happen. He said it just like that. He said, if it's written, it's going to happen. Meaning, if it's written in the Bible, it's going to happen. I said, like nuclear war. Do you think World War III is going to go nuclear war? He said yes. I said, do you think America can be destroyed? He said yes. I said, he said, yes, we believe it's possible. He said, but we don't want it to happen. That's what he said. He said, we as Freemasons do not want it to happen, but we understand that if it's prophecy, if it's written, it's going to happen. So I said, I asked him, I said, is Putin a Freemason? He said no. He said no, he can't be. Right? That's what he said. I said, is Trump a Freemason? He said 100%. And then he said no, 1,000%. He said Trump is part of the Scottish Rite. He says 1,000% a Freemason. But yeah, they try to twist them up with the scriptures. They use the scriptures in a deceitful way. So these people, they really think they're in the truth. It's crazy because they really think that what they're a part of is the truth. He told me straight up that Freemasons run the world. He said we are the chosen ones. We control everything. We run the world. Right? He admitted that openly. He also said that he also told me there's no such thing as free will. He said they don't believe in free will. He says no such thing as free will. He said he also said that even amongst them, if you die, it's because you're meant to die. He said they have secret hospitals. He told me they have secret hospitals and secret doctors that can extend your life. He said they have secret drugs that can extend your life, and that can extend your life or that can shorten your life. Right? He said they have secret hospitals. And the average person won't believe this type of stuff, but we know this shit is true. We know how Esau gets down. All right. What else? Some of the things he told me. He tried to tell me. Oh yeah, he told me that. He said he was talking about brotherhood. I asked him, what is it about? He said, it's about brotherhood. He kept talking about brotherhood. He was like, when you go through the different ranks, he said they mushed up his mind. That's what he told me. He said they mushed up his mind. They did things to him. He said he developed certain abilities. He was hearing voices in his head. He could hear people's conversations from down the street. But he was talking about magic, basically telling me that they learn magic. They learn witchcraft. And, there's a good witchcraft and a bad. He told me that when you join, you can go down the dark path or the light path, whichever path you choose. But it's all a good path at the end of the day, right? Which showing you that they're deceived. They come into these mystery schools, these different what they call hermetic orders, right? These different secret societies, and they get deceived. They get programmed. They get told certain things at one rank, and once they ascend to the next rank, they get told something else, and they get told, what you were told before, that was a lie. So the whole purpose is to get them to not be able to have an original thought, basically. It's just so that they can be fully controlled puppets, but yet at the same time think that they're going down the right path. So he told me, he was like, yeah, you can lose everything. You got to give up. If they tell you got to give up your money, you got to give it up. But he like, are you going to trust your brothers, though? Are you going to trust your brothers? He told me you got to read Psalms 133. And I'm like, yeah, I know Psalms 133. He's like, yeah, so obviously they read the scriptures, but they twist their mind and give them a demonic breakdown of the scriptures. Right? So I asked him, I said, I'm gonna be straight up, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I told him that. I said I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I said, since you're being honest with me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. And he was like, oh, so you already know about brotherhood. He said it just like that. He said, oh, so you already know about brotherhood. I was like, yeah. I said, oh, so y'all know about the Hebrew Israelites? That's something that y'all talk about in the lodge? He said, yeah, we talk about all religions. And this is a white dude. Of course, he's part of a white lodge, but that goes to show you right there that they talk about us in the lodge. And of course they do, because you have members of the Hebrew Israelite community that are set up by the Freemasons. You have Freemasons within the Hebrew Israelite community in leadership positions. Okay? And how I know that for a fact is you had this guy, Yahweh ben Yahweh, who was the leader of a congregation that was real big down here in Miami. And even right now, if you go on the website, the Yahweh ben Yahweh website, they have a Freemason logo on the website. But they're supposed to be a Hebrew Israelite congregation. Okay? And even one time I was preaching, and I had a follower of Yahweh ben Yahweh come up to me, and I threw that at him, and he said, yeah, so what? So that's something that they already, even the members of his congregation know that. And of course, we see other signs of Freemasonry within the Hebrew Israelite thing. When you look at some of these other congregations, the colors they wear, the regalia that they have, the way that they are organized, very similar to that fraternity. Okay, so again, this guy he confirmed a few things that we already knew. And like our apostles and elders have been saying, okay, we know that they know the prophecies. He straight up told me they know certain prophecies. He told me they know World War III is going down. They know Russia and America is going to go to World War III. He know that it's going to end with America being nuked. And as much as they don't want it to happen, he knows that if it's written, it's going to come to pass. He told me that there's no free will, no such thing as free will, right? He told me that they know about the Hebrew Israelites, right? Certain things I asked him, he wouldn't tell me though. Like I asked him, I pissed him off. I asked him, I said, do they be doing gay shit? He's like, no, man, you try me. You're like, not in my lodge. I'm like, okay. Then he started telling me about the Rosicrucian order, right? But I know for a fact Rosicrucians be doing some real demonic shit. So I asked him about vampirism, energy vampirism, and when I said that turned him off. He was like, man, you gotta come to the lodge, man. He said, how bad you want the secrets? Come to the lodge. I'm like, I'm good. And he was certain people would walk by. He said he would say, the skies are gray. Basically meaning stop talking. So that was a code word. He was giving certain code words. He was telling me, yeah, we stand. He said, like, Mason, they stand like this. He did the 90-degree stance. He was showing me different hand symbols. Like, he was being pretty open, But that was the Lord put a spirit on him to just say stuff, confirm stuff that we already know. But certain things he said and did, it was obvious that he wasn't bullshitting. He was actually a Freemason. And but yeah, we understand a lot of them in the lower ranks, they're deceived. They don't really know what the hell is going on for real. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on those things just to show you. Again, these elites, they know about us, and they know the prophecies, and they know this place is Babylon. They know it's going down, right? Just like our apostles and elders have been saying. Okay. I believe if I can remember, I believe he also said that there is reincarnation. No. I think he told me there was no reincarnation. So he was wrong on that. Right? But anyways, I think he did say there was reincarnation. I don't remember. But the scriptures tell us that these devils would do this. Okay, this is Psalm 64 and 1. Hear my voice, O God, and my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Which we know that we are public enemy number one. Even though we're nonviolent, even though we don't pose a threat to the powers that be in any physical way at this current moment in time, we are high up on their list of enemies simply because of what we know and what we preach and teach and who we are. Okay? So the Lord is going to preserve us from these devils. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Right? NLT says, hide me from the plots of this evil mob, from this gang of wrongdoers. And that's what they are, a gang of wrongdoers. It's a mafia. They protect themselves, right? What they call a cabal. They're joined in secrecy. They do evil behind closed doors, and that's what bonds them together. But we're a gang of righteousness, a ring of righteousness. We're connected through our faith in the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and our righteous works by going out and teaching, right? This labor of love that we share amongst each other, that's what bonds us. They're bonded by blood, magic, sacrifice, idol worship, satanic rituals, PDF file rituals, right? Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right, and when we jump down, I'm gonna jump down. Just to get to the point. You jump down to verse 6 says what? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Like he told me, he said, well, they study all religions. He told me they study a lot of things. Right? For what purpose? To have control and influence over the world. And to do the bidding of Satan, ultimately. Okay? Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. And the stuff, just by the surface level things he was telling me, that just, it proves that. And for some reason, he felt comfortable telling me the things he told me. But then again, he didn't. Certain things he wouldn't tell me. He told me I had to come to the lodge and find out. Verse 7, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So the Lord's going to move on these people. And which, again, the Freemasons, they're an arm of the elite, of the super elite. Okay? Like Trump being a Freemason, well, Trump is a puppet. They're all puppets of the super duper elite, which are the small hat banking families. They control the Freemasons. Okay? But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So shall they make their own tongue. This is the key point. So shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Their own tongue, NOT says their own tongues will ruin them, and all who see them will shake their heads in scorn. Right, so their tongues are falling upon themselves. That's why he felt a need to tell me those things that he told me, which is just a small symbol of them exposing themselves worldwide. They can't help it because it's the Spirit of the Lord that is on them to tell on themselves. They put it in their movies. They're telling themselves in their movies. They're telling themselves in the music. Like he told me, he said, the skies are gray. The skies are gray. When people will walk by, basically mean to be quiet so nobody could hear our conversation. So, of course, later on, I looked up that term, the skies are gray. And I found some music, some songs from the 70s or whatnot that mentioned that term. And when you listen to the song closely, you could tell it was like an Illuminati type song. So they're telling themselves, and then even the album artwork, it had the checkerboard symbolism on it. But again, that's the Spirit of the Lord making them tell on themselves. See, in the next verse it says what? And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider his doing. The righteous shall be glad in Yahweh and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. And the NLT says, then everyone will be afraid. They will proclaim, right? I don't know if you can hear me. Alright. It says, then everyone will be afraid. They will proclaim the mighty acts of the Most High and realize all the amazing things he does. Right. When, because at the end of the day, you're going to see what? That it was the Lord in control the whole time. That's what we're finding out. That's what we're seeing. The godly will rejoice in Yahweh and find shelter in him, and those who do what is right will praise him. And we're the ones that's truly doing what's right. Okay? So that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to say. Lord, and it was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh. By Shemel Shai. To the next one, Shalom.